I am an exterminator working in an area with a high drug, mental illness and crime rate. Ask me anything. Hello. Let me preface this by saying I will not be sharing locations or identifying details of clients, to protect their privacy and mine. I work in an extremely underrated career servicing the people most don't want to acknowledge. Whether it be removing a raccoon from a drug den, to fighting off millions of bedbugs in a care home. Every day brings new challenges and surprises. My goal here today is to shed light on what is otherwise an often overlooked and stigmatized profession. Edit. 7:52 p.m. Hey everyone, it was fun being able to answer questions. However, my phone is about to die. But feel free to keep asking and I will happily answer when I can. Edit 1:52 am. As much as I'd love to keep going, I don't think my thumbs can handle it. It has been an absolute pleasure answering everyone's questions. Quite honestly, I didn't think there would be as much interest as there was. So thank you for turning something I debated not posting into a fun night talking about bugs. I hope I managed to answer everyone's questions to the best of my ability, and if you're someone struggling with an infestation, please seek professional help if possible. It's worth every penny for peace of mind, and it's usually cheaper in the long run. And if you're reading this and thinking to yourself, "Yay, I can do this," then I absolutely suggest you do. I have worked a plethora of career opportunities, and this has been the only one that has provided me satisfaction at the end of every day. Sleep tight, and don't let the bedbugs bite. What are the calls you most enjoy getting? Not from an emotional or fulfilling perspective, but like, "Oh man, this'll be an easy $100. Wasp calls, not because they're easy, but because they can be the most challenging and adrenaline-inducing pest to tackle. You're like the crackhead Steve Irwin. Which hotel chains do you stay when traveling? I mainly wear my hat, and if they get nervous I don't stay there. I usually check the room before getting settled though. Buy a used exterminator's hat. Have you ever ended up accidentally introducing pests into your home? Yes, I've been up doing 3M bedbug treatments because one decided to come home with me. What's the most criminal thing you weren't meant to see? Stashed drugs, bodies, etc.? I had someone casually living with a body. Guy passed out from an overdose. No one noticed for 2 weeks until I came in to do an inspection. Let's just say that's one that I'm probably never going to forget. I recently had bedbugs and am now living in the purgatory of not knowing if they are all really gone or if there are a few left. I don't react much to the bite, so that isn't a reliable sign. What do you recommend for ongoing detection? I have interceptors on my bed legs, encasements, and a few sticky traps around the room. I am also still getting apprehend, fungal spore, treatments, and intend to keep that up for at least 6 months. But that only gets them if they walk through it on the baseboard, right? For peace of mind, spend the money and have a dog go through your place. A dog can sniff out bedbugs with even higher accuracy than a drug dog. Oftentimes they're the same dog. Yes, in fact humans can smell them. In high enough populations I can smell what I'm in for the second I enter the building. They smell like a crayon, if they decided to make a strawberry-scented crayon. I've heard that starting your own franchise is relatively cheap. Have you considered going out on your own and starting one? That's eventually the plan. For you, specifically, how do you prevent the little critters from following you home? E.g., how do you ensure you don't take a small collection of bedbugs home from work with you? I have a heat chamber I put my clothes in. It maintains a temperature above 50 C. My place is also treated with a fungal insecticide. How do you handle bees? Gently, they're harmless and fragile. Exactly how afraid of bedbugs should I be? If you use public spaces you should definitely be checking yourself routinely. New fear unlocked. Bedbug infestations are life-upending problems that are also incredibly expensive and time-consuming to deal with. They're one of the things I say it is completely reasonable to be paranoid about. I do a quick check my clothes and shoes every time I come back from a public space where I sit on upholstered furniture. Especially the movies. They are evolving to be poison-resistant too. We got blessed with resistant bedbugs once. Took over 4 months and a lot of visits from the exterminators. Ended up tossing most of our stuff and basically started over. The PTSD it leaves is unreal. It's been 6 years, and we still check our bed regularly. Check every little seam and fold on your garments, body, and belongings, or just throw everything in the dryer on max for an hour. You have no idea what that's going to do to my cotton shirts. As a man, I'm very familiar with shrinkage. First of all, you have my utmost respect for doing something that most of us wouldn't even dare to try, and I do acknowledge that guys like you are working behind the scenes to keep the world running, so be assured that you have at least my appreciation. How did you start doing what you are doing as a profession? Was it a conscious decision you made, or did you just stumble into it? I actually fell into it. I lost my job a while back, and a small company hired me. I absolutely loved the work and eventually found myself in a larger company. Slite. Most of the time treat others how you want to be treated and know how to read the room. I've only ever been threatened. But never have I ever felt in real danger. This is my experience too. I've lived in rough neighborhoods, hearing gunshots, etc. When my loved ones expressed concern for me living there, I would point out that generally the violence is targeted, not random. They aren't shooting tires out from a random car, it's the car of someone who owes them money, etc. So, keep your head down and don't be personally involved, and it's mostly safe. Agreed. Lived in very bad part of Vegas for about 8 months and wasn't hassled. I didn't act interested in other people's business and kept a low profile. Whatever they were doing, if it didn't involve me, then I didn't care. 2 things that are very important for being in any place most people wouldn't want to be. Act like you belong there, be casual and disinterested, develop a good sense of situational awareness. I was constantly aware of my surroundings and knew when things were getting sketchy. Once the kids go inside, it's time to go. Bro, I've been on Reddit like 7 years, definitely top 3 AMA I've seen. Thank you. What is the most dangerous mission you have completed? Fumigations, probably the only thing that truly terrify me. They will kill you before you even realize it. No kidding. Fumigants are scary shit. I work at a hazardous waste collection facility. One of the most terrifying moments of my career was when a customer started opening a 15-pound canister of calcium cyanide powder to show you what's in there. On a rainy day. Only time I've ever snatched a container out of a customer's hands. When it gets wet, or is exposed to moisture, a chemical reaction takes place and hydrogen cyanide is released. That's the gas that was used to kill millions in Nazi concentration camps, and the US used it in gas chambers. So, not great to breathe. Why are my lips numb after the Exterminator sprays our office? Possible reaction. Possible placebo. Consulting your physician is your best bet. I live in NYC. How am I getting waterbugs in my apartment? I hate them. Where are they coming in? The sewers probably. At NYC. That's like hard mode for pest control. Do any bugs freak you out at all still? Ticks. The thought of Lyme disease is terrifying. What's a general tip you have for keeping my place bug-free? Eliminating gaps and cracks and preventative treatment plans are pretty affordable and a great start, but key is to eliminate sources of food and water for the pests. Are there any pests that you really don't like dealing with? Carpet beetles, they can be a nightmare. Carpet beetles feed on organic compounds. Finding where they're breeding and eliminating that is key. Constant vacuuming and laundry also helps. I recommend getting a professional in though if the problem is bad. It's a sign of decay. They are called carpet beetles because traditional carpets are made with natural fibers and their larvae eat these things. So it could be a dead rat, dog shit, taxidermy butterflies, you name it and they will eat it. Of course, if you didn't remove the source, then those larvae will go through the stages to adulthood and then search the rest of your house for things that their kids can eat. It can get nasty fasty. Source. Exterminator. Wouldn't that just make you a Terminator? So not trying to hijack Oppost. I do restoration work as well as hoarding units, suicides, homicide clean upstairs. The second I walk into any house and if I see a can of bedbug spray, it's a quick okay, everybody get out, get your suits on, mass tuck tape gloves. You do not want to bring those home. Otherwise most of us just really hate big spiders. How do you avoid getting bit by animals, bedbugs, etc.? You can wear protective suits, but bites still occasionally happen. Are you a fan of Dale Gribble? Yes. Nice. What was one of your most changeling assignment? Having to rid a building of bedbugs when you could see bedbugs in the hundreds crawling down the walls in the lobby. Can you get rid of fleas in an average-size apartment in one trip? And if so, using what method? Lots and lots of vacuuming and an insect-grown regulator can get at most vets. Essentially follow bed bug preparation guidelines. Do you worry about being exposed to pesticides or other environmental contaminants, like mold? All the time, I make sure to wear any safety equipment I can get my hands on. Slite. I spent a year treating a unit for bedbugs. It was a challenge because the tenant had 3 distinct personalities, 2 of which hated me. Had to come to the description text to confirm that you were an exterminator of pests, not just a retired ex-terminator like Arnold Schwarzenegger. First, thanks for providing an extremely necessary and under-gratified service to society. Where is the line between pest control and animal control? Mice and rats are usually associated with pest control, but where does that end and large animal control take over? Do municipalities regularly outsource large animal control to extermination service providers? You're very welcome. The line tends to blur in the wildlife aspect of things. Generally when dealing with mammals larger than rats and mice you tend to cross paths with animal control. How can I make my detached garage absolutely inhospitable to all vermin without poisoning my dog, chickens, etc.? Do you fuck with mice? How do I fuck with mice? If you can fit your pinky in a gap or hole, fill it with something nice. Can't chew, copper mesh works great. Mice hate him. But meth addicts love him. With this one simple trick. How do you deal with bedbugs without accidentally bringing them home with you? I hear they're absolutely traumatizing to live with. I can't state enough how traumatic bedbugs are. Luckily I'm able to put safeguards in place to prevent hitchhikers, although accidents do happen. I remember reading about a woman who was convinced someone was raping her in her sleep, and when she was examined they found bites all over her. Turns out she had an extreme reaction that caused paranoia. Literally, bedbugs have her mental illness. Scary stuff. I'm having a real love-hate relationship with this thread. I hate this part BTW. What is the best way to get rid of carpenter bees around your home? How can you tell if they have already gotten in your walls? Contact a professional, especially if your concern is structural damage. Though pretty docile to humans, they can cause havoc on structures. How do you get rid of 1,000,000 bedbuggers? Heat. Turn that room into a convection oven. Anything over 50 C for min an hour will kill them. Cockroaches, are they only in gross and dirty houses? You may be surprised to learn that pests don't discriminate. Some of my worst cockroach cleanouts have been in multi-million-dollar mansions with full-time cleaning staff. I'm a former chef, and I just want to hijack this to say that if you're in an environment that German cockroaches enjoy, every restaurant is either infested, or pays good money to not be infested. Before I will work for someone, I check for bugs in the kitchen. You can tell a bad owner from a good owner pretty reliably just by how clean and bug-free their kitchen is or isn't. You'd be surprised how some can hide it from regular folk. A German cockroach nymph is damn nest microscopic, and Greece had enough sustenance to sustain it through its life. My biggest giveaway in any establishment is the fluorescent light housings. No one ever cares to clean them. And there was a problem, they usually show it. Who's been your favorite customer? A year ago I solved a case for a family who were being terrorized by rats for over 3 years. To the point where the rats had chewed out their gas lines and almost blew the house up. Even today I still get cards and pictures of a now very happy family. I have a rat problem outside. Had a local company come out 5 months ago and put down 4 poison traps. How long does this typically take to eradicate a colony? You will never eradicate rodents outside, they will be here long after us. For every one we kill 10 are born. The goal is reduction, not elimination. My house has an endless invasion of bugs. Not an infestation of one kind, just every dumb shitbug on the planet wanders in constantly. I try and seal every gap I can, but nothing works. Why is this happening and how do I get rid of these little bastards? Check your door and window seals, if you see light a bug can get in. Also highly recommend a spray of the exterior to prevent outside invaders. Do you look up to Dale Gribble? I think you mean Rusty Shackleford. Oh man, this is just the AMA I've been waiting for. How in God's name do I stop squirrels from getting in the attic? I've sealed off every opening just to have them chew back in. I've tried vinegar, hot sauce, literal pure capsaicin, and fake snakes, but the little shits keep eating the low voltage wires in the attic. What do you usually do with the little buggers? You have to really seal them in. Recommend using a metal grating over a mesh. They will eventually give up. Also make sure there are no babies in your home. How much of what you do involves spraying stuff I could buy online and toss in a sprayer myself? 0.01%. My chemicals are in concentrate form and must be mixed in exact ratios, otherwise you risk causing your target pest to grow immune. Also, you need a license to even see the catalog. I have read about extreme heat treatments killing bedbugs versus chemicals. What do you think? Heat's always the way to go. Your scariest Ralph Wiggum, I'm in danger. Story from a job you did, please? It can be dangerous bequasse of the pest, the people, the building, or some other factor, just that your life was potentially almost asked of you that day. A tenant I was doing a bedbug inspection for got raided by the cops mid-inspection. Don't give identitying details, obviously. But have you stumbled across any glory holes in the places you go into? Yes. Can you confirm what you felt like after using it? I went into more detail in a previous reply, but essentially was doing a bedbug inspection on the unit. Next thing I know, police are busting down the door with guns. What did you do with the raccoon? Is he okay? He got some marshmallows and was relocated to a nice wooded area nearby. Is it true cold weather will also kill bedbugs? For instance, if it's below freezing outside and you put couches or mattresses outside overnight, will that do the job? Yes and no, it takes a very ideal set of circumstances for it to get cold fast enough to kill bedbugs, as they can enter a state of hibernation for a long time. How does working in these lower-income neighborhoods affect you mentally? Had any clashes with clients? I tend not to take things personally, but it can be hard sometimes. I just have to remind myself I'm meeting them in a bad situation. How do you spot an exterminator in a crowd? Look for the one scratching. No, but I did once have a meth-addicted rat. Say more about the meth rat. Was called in for rats at a residence known for its attics. Turned out one of the tenants had been mixing meth into peanut butter and baiting snap traps with it, to keep him coming back. As crazy as he was, it worked like a charm. No, you need to call a Terminator for that.